In this video, we're going to show you how to install the brake flex hose on your Toyota Camry located behind your rear wheels. We're going to use a 21mm socket, loosen and remove the lug nuts. Once we have those off, remove the wheel and set it aside. Now with the back wheel off, you're going to go ahead and locate your flex hose right here. We're going to use our 14mm socket to loosen and remove this bolt. I'm going to use my plastic pliers here to go ahead and pinch this off. That's going to keep the fluid from continuously running, at least through here while we work on it. Now up top here, we went ahead and sprayed this down with some rust penetrant. And what we need to do is break the hard line from the flex hose here. Now the hard line has a 10mm nut on it. We sprayed it down with some rust penetrant. I want to go ahead and unthread this. Now I'm going to unthread it just a little bit, and I'm going to spray it down with some spray solvent. I want to get any debris off of this. Now we have a catch can underneath. We are going to be losing some brake fluid. Okay, with that separated, I'm going to use my pliers here, and I'm going to grab the horseshoe retaining clip and twist that off. Set that aside. Now we can go ahead and pull the flex hose out. Now let's go to the back side of the caliper. You're going to use that 14mm socket. You can use your impact gun or a ratchet to loosen and remove this. Spin that bolt out. And go ahead and remove it. Before installing the flex hose, it's best to go ahead and replace the horseshoe-shaped gasket on the flex hose end here before installing it onto the caliper. Go ahead and grab your banjo bolt, and we're going to feed it through the flex hose. And there's a little elbow tab on it right here that needs to line up on the caliper. And go ahead and thread that in. I'm going to gently snug that down. Now let's go ahead and run the flex hose over. I'm going to feed this up in a position. Now the hose itself has a keyed area. It's curved on the two sides and flat on the other two. It's going to fit into this metal bracket and lock into place. We do want to go ahead and get that fitting threaded in. Get this started by hand. Let the thread in as far as we can by hand. Now's the perfect time to go ahead and position the flex hose so it locks into that bracket. There it is. Then we can go ahead and snug down our hard line just a little bit. Install that horseshoe clip. Make sure that the locking tab is facing up. Push that in. And I'm going to use my hammer and just tap that into place. Let's now go ahead and finish securing this hard line. We do want to make sure that's good and snug. Now, brake fluid is corrosive. Very important to go ahead and grab a can of spray solvent. Spray this down. Let's go ahead and install the retainer bolt for the flex hose. And then we'll go ahead and use our impact gun and zip that down to secure it. Now that we have everything secured on the line here, we can now proceed to the brake bleeding process. Now at this point here, you're going to locate the bleeder screw on the back side of the caliper here. Now we have a rubber cap covering our bleeder screw. If you don't have this rubber cap, it's okay. It's not detrimental to the operation of the brakes. Now what we're going to do is use either an 8mm or a 5/16 wrench. And I want to go ahead and loosen this bleeder screw by turning it counterclockwise. And what we're doing here is we're going to watch for any air bubbles coming out right here. You can actually see some air bubbles burping out of there, and wait for a solid stream of fluid to come out. Now that we have a solid stream of fluid coming out, we're going to go ahead and tighten this down. Now, brake fluid is corrosive, so you definitely want to use some spray solvent. Clean this up, wipe it down. Now you want to hop into the vehicle, pump up the brakes. Make sure that brake pedal feels nice and firm. If it doesn't, repeat this process one more time. If you still can't get a firm brake pedal feel, you now need to proceed to the brake bleeding process for the entire vehicle. At this point, go ahead and pop on the rubber cap, install your wheel, and you're all set. Install the wheel. Let's go ahead and get all of our lug nuts started, and then we'll come on back and snug them down. We're going to snug them down. Do not over tighten. Let's go ahead and torque down our lug nuts to 76 foot-pounds. Now, when torquing these down, we prefer to do this in a crisscross pattern. And you're all set. Now with the hood open, you can go ahead and locate your master cylinder right here. It's on the driver's side part of the firewall. Now before we open up this cap here, we want to go ahead and spray it down with some spray solvent. And the purpose of doing this here is we want to make sure if there's any debris around the top here, we don't want it to fall down inside. Give that a wipe down. Go ahead and grab that cap, open that up. Now some of these vehicles will have a little filter inside. There it is, just little tabs there. Gonna set that aside. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this vacuum unit right here. You can use like a turkey baster, but our goal is to go ahead and pull out the existing fluid that is inside the reservoir. I'm gonna pull this out and put that into another container. We want to continue this process till we have as much of that fluid out as we can get. Now at this point here, our unit is about as empty as we can get it. We're going to grab our little filter screen here, line it up, and we're going to push that down inside. Now we want to go ahead and top this off with our DOT3 or a DOT3 fluid. Now because we're going to be bleeding the brakes, we can go ahead and overfill this a little bit. We have a full line on here, which is right up at the top here. We're going to put a little bit in there because we're going to be pulling out some fluid as we go. Go ahead and grab that cap and pop it on. Let's now go ahead and start our brake bleeding process. Now we're going to go ahead and start our brake bleeding process. Now on this particular vehicle, we're going to start with our right rear wheel. We're going to proceed over to the left front or the driver's side front. Then we're going to come back to the driver's side rear or the left rear and finish up at the right front, the passenger side front wheel. Now we have someone inside the vehicle that's going to help us pump up that brake and hold that pressure while we go ahead and open up these lines and purge out any air in that system. We're going to go ahead and open up this rubber cap or remove this rubber cap first. Just going to use a pair of pliers and pop this off. If your vehicle does not have that rubber cap, it's not the end of the world. And we're going to use a 5/16 wrench on this little bleeder screw here. And we're just going to crack that open just a little bit. Okay, it's free. Now we have our reservoir here with our vent tube. This is going to take that fluid. I'm going to press this on. All right, we're going to have that person inside the vehicle. Go ahead and pump up the brakes about 3 to 4 times and hold it. All right, and while they're holding pressure, I'm going to open this up. All right, so it's gone to the floor inside. We're going to close that. Go ahead and pump it up. Now what we're looking for here is air bubbles coming through this hose here. And one more time. We're getting a solid stream of fluid here, which is excellent. Now at this point here, we can go ahead and pull this hose off, remove our wrench. I want to go ahead and make sure that this is pretty snug. Now if you happen to have that rubber cap, go ahead and pop that back into place. If you dribble any brake fluid, go ahead and use some spray solvent. Clean up any of that drippage on the caliper itself. Clean it all up because brake fluid is corrosive. So we want to make sure that this is all clean and protected. I want to go ahead and do this process on the left front. Now we have the person inside the vehicle and went ahead and cranked out our wheel so we have better access to the bleed screw here on the left front wheel. We're going to repeat the process. If you have the little rubber cap, go ahead and pull that off. Set that aside. We do want to take our wrench and make sure that this is broken free. And there it is. I'm going to hook up our hose here to bleed. All right, why don't you go ahead and pump it up. And there's a lot of air in this one here. Go ahead. I can see all that foamy fluid come through. Go ahead. Just a lot of air captured inside this here. All right, that one there is perfect. I'm going to seal this up, make sure that bleeder screw is nice and tight. Carefully remove our hose here. Once again, if you have dribbled any brake fluid here, give it a quick spray with some solvent. Give it a wipe down. And then install the rubber cap if you have it. Now that you get your cap on here, we're going to go ahead and top off the master cylinder up underneath the hood, make sure that there's plenty of fluid in there. Then we're going to proceed to the left rear and finish up with the right front. Let's open this up. All right, let's now go ahead and continue on to the left rear and finishing up with the right front. All right. Go ahead and install your wheels. Torque down our lug nuts to 76 foot-pounds. You can go for a road test.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.